What's going on, guys? This is Connor from Kreg Renovations. And do you have a doorway opening that looks like this, but at the end of the night you want to make it look something like this? Well, you clicked on the right video. In this video I want to show you how to trim out a doorway and then also keeping 45-degree miters extremely tight and guaranteed not to crack. Let's flash back to the beginning of the night where I bought all the wood out in the sunroom for $75. So this is it. I bought 5 4-inch pieces of trim and then 3 5-inch pieces of trim. So I want to use the 5-inch board for the inside of the door frame, and then I want to use the 4-inch on the outside. That's what's going to have the 45-degree miters at the top of the door. So let's take some measurements and start cutting. The biggest challenge that we're going to face today is keeping everything level and square. I can already tell that the framing off this wall is kind of curving in a bit, so I can't nail the trim boards directly to the wood. It's gonna have to be offset a little bit, and I'm gonna have to get it square with some shims. Just kind of keep working my way throughout the door. The inside of the doorway is trimmed out and the header is level. Now I need to go back on either side with a 3-foot level and a pack of shims and make sure both sides of the doorway are level as well. Here's a quick tip when you're measuring and cutting the trim for the inside of the doorway. You don't want to measure it to an exact fit. If it's not framed exactly square, you're going to notice it. So what I normally do is shrink it about a 1/2 inch, and that leaves room to add shims on certain areas to square everything up. If I haven't talked about what I've been using yet, it's a Milwaukee 16 gauge trim gun. This thing's an absolute beast. What I'm shooting in to hold the trim, it's these 2.5 inch trim nails. I went with those longer nails because you want something that's gonna go through this trim, shims, and all the way to grab and hold on to the meat of the 2x4 in the frame. So when you're doing something like this, the longer the better. This is set in place, square, good to go. Now I'm gonna take this scrap piece and the use of my combination square. I wanna reveal all the way around the door frame. Set up my combination square to about 1/4 inch. I'm gonna mark it probably every foot or so when I go to lay my trim piece. That's what I'm gonna put against the inside of the casing. But this combination square just acts as a guide so that you have an exact 1/4 inch reveal all the way around. With the reveal set and marked on the trim, that's what I'm going to use as my measuring point to measure the heights of the longest part of the 4-inch trim. I'm running into a little bit of an issue. When I go to set the trim, it doesn't lay flush on the 5-inch board that I have right here because the drywall is kind of sticking out in certain areas. So what I can do about that is take a hammer, just kind of breaking up the drywall, making it loose. Again, you don't want to go too far, but you do have about 3.5 inches of clearance that you could hit and knock around, and you still won't notice it because the trim will cover it. Before we set and glue these trim pieces together, you want to dry fit it first. Then we'll bring it in the sunroom and put it all together. Great fit overall. I may need to tweak that side of the wall, maybe cut back the drywall just a little bit more, but I like how this fits. I have the door trim set on the sawhorses. What I want to do now is put pocket holes on the back side of the trim where the 45s come together. Here's the Kreg jig. You can get this at Home Depot probably for around like 20 bucks. It comes in a whole kit, which is nice. Let me show you how I do one, and we'll just rinse and repeat this door and put it all together. all finished up, and that's how you case a door opening. The most helpful tip is using that Kreg jig to pull those corners together on the back side of the trim. Again, splash a little glue on there, and those joints are holding for a very long time. But that's all we got for tonight. I hope you learned something. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it to your friend, and I'll see you on the next one.